CEO and founder of Tiger Mountain Innovations. And our video today is to talk to you about Squak Mountain Stone version 3.0. Back in 2004, when I developed and invented Squak Mountain Stone, it was originally conceived for the do-it-yourselfer market. And that is because at that time there were very few products that were available to customers that wanted an alternative to plastic countertops. And so the sizing of the product that was offered when we launched it finally in early 2005 was small modular sizes designed for kitchen and bath applications so that a do-it-yourselfer could take the product and actually do the fabrication and installation on their own. In early 2007, we actually made the switch from Portland cement to low carbon cement, which is a binder that when it's produced actually releases almost 2/3 fewer emissions of CO2 into the atmosphere. And that was a pretty profound change for us as a company. And then at the end of 2008, I ended up merging with another Seattle-based startup that was producing recycled content material. And we ended up acquiring a lot of the technology that came with that merger. We had one more opportunity to make a profound change to Squak Mountain Stone from the original version that I had started in 2004. Over the years, we've received feedback in terms of enhancements and quality improvements that we could make to the product that were really about two different categories. One was variation in thickness and the problems that it could present in fabrication in terms of having slabs that weren't quite the same thickness. And then the other one was variation in the aesthetic quality of the material or the appearance of the material. And that was the result of doing hand casting of individual small slabs and hand finishing all of them. And while that character and variability was really desired by a lot of the people that ended up buying Squak Mountain Stone, we recognize that over the years there are a lot of people that chose not to use Squak because they didn't like the number of seams that came from the smaller slabs, they didn't like the variability between the two slabs, and they were concerned about the installation cost from the fabricator because of the thickness variation. And so we decided that in order to address all of those problems, that what we needed to do was we needed to grow the size of our slab. And so the new version of Squak Mountain Stone 3.0 is actually a 56 by 96 inch slab. And that comes down to the fact that the technology we have to gauge it to make the uniform thickness just doesn't work on smaller materials. Now, I know that the smaller modular sizes were a real great benefit to customers that just wanted a little bit of material for small projects. And so this wasn't a decision that we actually took very lightly. So we've been working with our growing network of distributors to make sure that they're able to offer a half a slab to customers that still only need a little bit of material for smaller projects. So let's look at each of the slabs individually. We'll go through the colors that we have here. First of all, we have latte sitting here, and this is a nice warm gold color. Then over here we have natural, and this is an untinted, no pigment added to this material. And it's for folks that actually like the concrete look, but I want to point out that our low carbon cement actually has a brown tone to it. So this stone actually looks a lot warmer than what you might expect from a traditional untinted concrete. Then what we have is quinault, our mossy green. Thunder, which happens to be our #1 selling product, 2-to-1. People love the neutrality and the darkness of it, the nice black, rich color that it has. And then otter, which is our brown with some red undertones to it. Now, you can see that by looking at all these slabs together, that each slab has its own character and its own variation. And so that is still a part of the quality of the material and the character of Squak Mountain Stone that sets it off and makes it unique. And that's because even though we've made some improvements into its thickness and its size, we haven't changed its fundamental character, which is a handmade material. And the variation that you see here isn't based on the color. You'll see a variation in material regardless of whether it's quinaults or thunders or anything like that. One of the things that we've done too is we've upgraded the vibration technology that we're using for making the slabs, and what it ended up doing was eliminating some of the larger air holes that people were used to seeing maybe in the edges or in the faces of the stone. And I want to point out that it didn't entirely eliminate holes. We still get air bubbles on the face of the stone. That's just the nature of working with a fiber cement material. And we still go through and hand finish them and fill them in. And so you should expect to see that there's still going to be some tactile and some character associated with this material. Now, because of the variation, we think it's important to point out that we still provide a 3.5 by 5.5 inch sample for customers to look at. But as you can see here with this thunder sample, it's a small piece of the entire picture of the slab. And so when you're using and looking at these materials, please keep in mind that these are intended to reflect the color and not to give you the whole idea of what an entire slab is going to look like. And so when you're working and choosing to use the material, make sure that you get a chance to see some pictures, look at some larger samples, or in this case, check out this video and get a view of what big pieces look like. Probably the last major change that we ended up making to the product that I want to note is at the early part of the summer, we ended up eliminating fly ash. And we've been using a Type F coal fly ash that came from a Washington electrical plant. And we substituted that for 100% recycled glass aggregate. And one of the great byproducts that we see that you're not going to be able to pick up in the video is that we've added a slight shimmer or sparkle to the surface of the material. And so it starts to reflect in the same way that micas do in natural stones. Overall, we're really happy with the way the product has turned out. We're pleased with the progress that we've made. And we encourage you to go visit our website at squakmountainstone.com, get a list of the showrooms and dealers, and also visit our blog for up-to-date information, news, events, and project highlights. And that's at coolcounters.wordpress.com. Thank you.